Hey, welcome back to Biblical History with Henry, Part 2. In this video, we're going to dive deeper into the world of Philippians chapter 2. It's one of the most beautiful, humbling parts of the entire New Testament, where Paul tells us about Christ, who, though he was God, humbled himself and became obedient to the point of death, even death on a cross. Now, if you grew up hearing that verse, it might sound poetic. But in the Roman world, that phrase was anything but poetic. Let's explore what crucifixion really meant, and what Paul meant when he described the people around the Philippians as a perverted generation. Let's start with this question. What exactly was crucifixion in the time of Jesus and Paul? Crucifixion was a Roman form of state-sponsored execution, used especially for slaves, rebels, and non-citizens. It was designed to be slow, agonizing, humiliating, and public. In Roman culture, crucifixion wasn't just a way to kill, it was a way to shame. Cicero, a Roman philosopher, said, "The very word cross should be far removed not only from the person of a Roman citizen, but from his thoughts, his eyes, and his ears." It was the lowest possible form of death. That's why Paul adds those words, even death on a cross. It was scandalous, offensive, utterly degrading, and yet this is the path Jesus chose, not by force, but by humble obedience. This is central to the slave mindset we've been talking about. Jesus didn't cling to privilege. He emptied himself. He submitted to suffering. He bore shame. Why? Because that's the depth of his love. And Paul is saying, this is the mindset we're called to imitate. Now let's fast forward to Philippi. Paul writes to the Philippians and tells them, "Shine as lights in the world, in the midst of a crooked and perverted generation." That might sound like Paul is being dramatic, but actually, he's being honest. Let's think about what surrounded the church in Philippi. Philippi was a Roman colony, deeply loyal to Caesar. Many of its residents were retired soldiers. The culture was full of imperial pride, idol worship, and rigid class divisions. In this world, Caesar was called Lord and Savior. Roman gods were worshipped in the marketplace. Public virtue meant loyalty to the empire, not to Christ. And slaves were everywhere. Over half the population of the empire was enslaved. To follow Jesus in Philippi meant standing against the flow. It meant saying, Jesus, not Caesar, is Lord. Humility, not dominance, is power. Suffering for Christ is not shameful, it's honorable. So when Paul says they lived in a perverted generation, he wasn't just talking about morality. He was describing a world where everything was twisted, pride was celebrated, power was worshipped, violence was normal, and crucifixion was a warning. Don't you dare resist Rome. And in the middle of all that, Paul says, shine like stars. Now you might be thinking, that was Philippi, but what about us? The truth is, not much has changed. We still live in a world that twists good into evil and evil into good. Humility is seen as weakness. Sacrifice is avoided. Power and image are everything. And people still look down on those who follow Jesus with sincerity. Paul's words still speak today. Do everything without grumbling or arguing, so that you may be blameless and pure, children of God, in the midst of a twisted generation. We don't fight back with anger. We don't run away in fear. We shine through holiness, gentleness, and love. We shine by living the slave mindset in a world obsessed with self. We shine by pointing to a crucified king, one who chose the cross not out of weakness, but out of love and obedience. So let's remember, crucifixion wasn't just painful, it was the ultimate shame in the Roman world. Jesus willingly embraced it for us. The Philippians lived under Roman rule, but they followed a greater king. And we today are called to shine, not by fitting in, but by standing out. So let me ask, are you willing to follow Jesus even when it costs you comfort or reputation? Are you willing to shine in a twisted world, not with pride, but with humility? And does the cross still move you, not just emotionally, but deeply enough to reshape how you live? That's what it means to walk in the footsteps of Christ. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you in part 3, where we'll go even deeper into the world behind this powerful letter.